Hi, my name is Mallory David. I'm with Parker Sporlan, and today I'm here at Tropic's 50th anniversary, and today we're going to talk about our Q Series valve, which is our Build-A-Valve. All right, now let's get into building our valve. Whether you're building your valve out of your truck using our Q Series kit, or you're building it at a wholesaler at a Q bench, you're always going to have access to this handy-dandy chart. This chart is going to show us at the bottom how we actually put together our valve, and the top is going to show us our selection process. So let's go through how to do it. So I'm going to say that I am building a valve for a 3-ton 448A system, okay? So with that being said, I'm going to start with our first selection, which is the body. So we have our Q Series and our BQ Series. The BQ Series is our balanced ported valve. The Q Series is not balanced, okay? Now, in each series, we have 6 different valve body options. So we have Q, EQ, SQ. The S in front is going to tell us that it has a strainer. And then the EQ is going to tell us that it has extended ends, which means that we can braze it into the system, where the regular Q is our normal SAE connection. So for this system, I know that it's a 3-ton system. A good rule of thumb is anytime you're working on a system that's over 1 ton, you're going to want to make sure that you're using an externally equalized valve. So for that reason, I know that I'm going to need an E at the end when I'm looking for my body type. I also want a strainer as well for this valve, so I know that I will need the SQE because that one has the externally equalized valve and it has that strainer, and for this system I want to braze in my valve instead of using our SAE flare option. So that's how I know to pick the SQE body for my current system. So I'm going to go into my kit, pull out my SQE body right here. Our next step is to select our cartridge. Like I said, I'm building this valve for a 448A system, and it's a 3-ton system. So I'm going to use the chart. This is a Q valve that we're building. So I'm going to go to my 448A, go to 3 tons, and that's going to show me that I will need a black cartridge. So I'm going to go into my cartridge kit right here. If you're building it at a Q bench, these will be in small little manila envelopes for you. So I'm going to go in and select my black cartridge. It's painted at the bottom. That's how you know which one to pick. While I'm in here, I'm also going to take out my tag. This is what we're going to use to mark the valve, so that way anyone that looks at the valve after it's been installed knows the size of the valve. So this one has a little 3, indicating that this will be a 3-ton valve that we're making. I'm also going to take out our assembly oil. We'll need that in the building process. And I'm also going to take out my Allen wrench. Okay. Now, last thing we need to select is our element. So again, I said that my system is for commercial refrigeration, and I'm using 448A. So I'm going to use my chart, commercial refrigeration, 448A, and I know that I will be needing a KT43VC. That's going to be the name of the element we need. So I'm going to go into my kit, KT43VC, right here. All right, now we're ready to build the valve. So, like I said, you can easily follow the pictures at the bottom. That's going to walk you through how we build the valve. So, first things first, let's get everything unboxed here. This is our element. It's also important to note that the bulb straps are included, so make sure you don't forget those. That's the best way to mount your bulb in your system. We are also going to take out our body right here. All right. So following our pictograph here, the first thing we're going to do is we are going to lubricate the O-ring on our cartridge. A lot of times the cartridge will come with this little plastic bit. You'll just take that off. We're going to take our assembly oil right here, and we are just going to lubricate that O-ring. All right, next step on our pictograph is we are going to insert our cartridge into our valve. One thing that's important to note is that the valve body, you'll notice, are used with all different sizes depending on what size we're building. The size of the valve, as far as how many tons the valve can withstand, its capacity, is determined based on three things: the pin angle, the port size, and the stroke of the valve. Those things are built into the cartridge. So that's why we're able to use standard bodies, and then we select our cartridge based on the capacity that we need. Next step is I'm going to use an Allen wrench to screw in my cartridge. Now if you're building a BQ valve, you're going to use a little plastic blue triangle that's going to be provided, and you will use that to screw in your cartridge. Because this is a Q valve though, I can use my Allen wrench to screw this in. So I'm going to screw it in until I get resistance, just like that. Okay, next step, we are going to take our element, and we are going to take our lubricating oil, and we are going to lubricate the lock ring. And we are also going to lubricate the push rods in our body. So these are these two sticking up right here. I'm going to lubricate those as well. Now from here, you're going to screw on your element. You're going to hand tighten it as far as you can, and then we're going to give it one final tighten with a wrench. So that's as far as it will go. If you're working at a bench, then it will probably have a spot that you can fit the valve in to do this final turn. If you're building it out of your truck, then you can use wrenches to hold it in place and give you that strength to turn it one final turn. So that's what I'm going to do here today. I'm going to get a nice tight hold on my valve, and I am going to take another wrench to get a nice tight hold on the top of my element. Going the wrong way. All right, here we go. So once I get a nice tight hold on here, I'm going to do one final turn of 60 degrees. That 60-degree turn is going to be the key to getting us a nice tight seal. So I'm just going to do one 60-degree turn here. And there we go. That is how you build a valve. Again, my name is Mallory David. I'm with Parker Sporlan. Today we learned how to build a valve. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your local Sporlan sales engineer or find us at sporlan.com.